Life Skateboards. I stuttered in the intro to this live. I hope that's not how this is all going to go. Anyway, I make handcrafted skateboard decks for Life Skateboards. You can get one of your own at lifeskateboard.com. I ended a live earlier while I was shaping boards so I could make a full video of time lapses. I'll get that posted later. And now I'm going to release the long press and load up two 8-ply boards and two 7-ply boards into there. So you guys will see what I'm doing here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Should be pretty short here. I wanted to go skate, but the weather's turning on me, so so this is where we're at. My tripod's all weird because I had it hanging from the ceiling for a little bit for the last video. All right, so we're gonna release these jacks down here. There we go. I'm gonna release these jacks to drop the press down. And these boards have been in the press for 24 hours. We always allow the boards to press for 24 hours and cure for at least a week. Sometimes the jacks can be a little stubborn. Go ahead and lock the jacks back in place. Real tight so they don't slip on us later. All right, so this here on the top is what I'm not using right now, but this is our youth mold. The kicks are closer together, same concave as everything else. Our youth boards come in a standard 6-ply. Our standard for everything else is 7 plies. So we're gonna remove that and go ahead and pull these out. I'm gonna go grab a marker. Be right back. So I wrote on a whiteboard, "Hello, legend, legend Thanos." Hello, Thanos. Thanks for stopping by. These are from 3/18, so we label the date and the press so nothing gets mixed up later. And then we take them, separate them, and then put them in a stack of their own concave to cure for 7 days. So this is a long green. So we got some greens there. And these stacks are also how I determine what colors I'm going to be pressing for that day. I'm going to set you guys over here while I remove all these and label them. Another green. All right. One moment here, there it is. Hello, Annabelle. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new to this live, I'm just going to be pressing some skateboards, and those skateboards are available at lifeskateboard.com. You can get whatever you want since we do everything in-house. We got over 77 shapes listed on the website, but we can also do customs. You can pick your wheelbase, you can pick your ply number, you can pick your ply color. Our graphics are applied with hand-carved lino blocks, so you can choose one of those and choose your ink color as well. Andrew, you did see your deck earlier. Andrew is one of our customers and a perfect example of how we stand behind our product. there's a warp or it delams, we're going to replace it for you because we stand behind our high quality. All right, now to remove the center mold. Felt like there was some glue on the press there. Nope, we're good. I also ended that live earlier because I smashed the living shit out of my finger. It was weird. I just walked in the door and it got stuck in the door jamb while I was walking. It was not a fun time. It's a strange injury. But it hurt real bad. Alright. The blue one here, so that's going in the stack of blue longs. And I really like these YouTube lives. I like the community on here. You get a few weirdos every once in a while, but even the weirdos are fun. We usually get some good conversations going, talking about sobriety. Part of what I do with my social media platforms is help people get sober or help them through their addictions. I'm personally an addict in recovery. Several things, but the big thing was booze. I'm 6 years alcohol free right now. So I like to help people that were in a similar position that I was in. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. That's what these lives are for. As soon as I'm done releasing these, cleaning off the press, I forgot what the date was. And then I'm going to set up the layups that I'm going to press into boards. And then we'll glue them up by hand, throw them in the press, you'll watch the squeeze out, and I'll go home. Another blue. I'm acting surprised like I'm not the one that pressed these. Well, Annabelle, that's what I'm here for. A lot of people that have been skating their whole lives don't know a lot about the board making process. We do a lot of things a lot differently than how a factory would do them here. Our goal is quality. So we do things like a long press time. We press for 24 hours, cure for a week. We glue by hand because a glue machine misses some of the plies because it can't get the crossbands, and I'll show you what those are in a minute here. It also misses the faces because it can only hit both sides of the board. Or I'm sorry, only hit both sides of the ply. Let's see here. Let me clean this off a little bit. I got some stuff to scrape off the mold here, and then we'll get to picking the veneer, and I'll walk you through the different parts of the inside of your board. Alrighty, so let's take you over this way, and we will start selecting the veneer that will be a life board. So the standard board is going to have 7 plies of hard maple. Today, upon request, we're doing 2 8-plies for somebody. I've got to specifically make sure that the veneer is really wide, because the board is going to be 11.75 inches wide. We're going to be doing some heavy inspections on these plies here today. Been having some issues in the press, so we're just going to be more hands-on with the quality control. Like that one had a split in it there, so that's not going to go on a face. And that one's good. There's a little mark on there, but if I can't see daylight through it, then it's good. It's okay, Annabelle. That's what I'm here for. So now I'm looking for a color core to put in there, which should just be a veneer that's split. There we go. There's one. So it looks like these 8 plies are going to have red centers. Now we go for a face. The face is an unmarked, pretty vertical veneer. Now we're going for core. Core doesn't have to be perfect. Generally 3 pieces of core, but because we're doing an 8 ply, we're going to do, it is a very nice red. We're going to do 4 cores. One of them is going to be a color. Then you got your cross bands, and this is what I was talking about earlier. This is a cross band here. It's a horizontal grain. Now something that I've had to do here lately, and that we're going to start doing with all the veneer, we're going to be making sure that if there's any weak spots. Oh boy. Andrew, can you let me know if I still have audio? Because I just got a phone call in, and that usually screws up the audio on these. But we, thank you, appreciate it. We get the veneer already dyed. Thank you, I appreciate it, guys. So I'm grabbing 8 pieces of crossband here, and I'm going to inspect them, and I'll show you what I'm inspecting. So we've had an issue where we've had some overlaps. Let me get my tape. Where did that go? I'll be right back, guys. Alright, so I'm going to be going through each of these pieces of crossband and checking the edge. If there's any weak spots, with a tiny piece of tape, make sure that it doesn't overlap in the press. Perfect. If you don't, you should, Annabelle. Oh, there we go. There's a small weak spot. And that has got a very low likelihood of overlapping, but we're still going to use a tiny piece of tape there. Make sure it doesn't. All right. So this is probably the boring part of the live here. This might be something I start doing before I go live, but just kind of raw showing you guys everything I'm doing this time. It sure does. Skateboarding saved my life, that's for sure. I'd probably be dead in the gutter somewhere if it weren't for skateboarding. It gave me something to do when I really needed it. And after you get the board, it's free. You can skate wherever you want. Everything's your skateboard. All right. So now that we've inspected all of the cross bands, we're gonna swing. I locked my phone because apparently I trapped the charger inside of my tripod and then locked my phone twice in a row. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so these layups have all the veneer in them that I need besides the cross bands. So I'm gonna grab 4 of these cross bands and put them in there. And then we're gonna set up 2 7-ply boards. Cross bands go 2 plies in. That way you have 2 cores in the center rather than 1. Alrighty, there's our 8 plies. Now we're gonna do our 7 plies. So for this one, I'll explain what you've got inside of your skateboard. We're gonna do a green and a blue to get the stacks up. So you've got a face. This is a vertical grain. It looks real pretty. It's gonna be on the outside of your skateboard. That's gonna be a bottom face. And you got a top face. Beautiful ply, real clean. And then you've got 3 pieces of core. The core can have some small blemishes on it. Things that you wouldn't put on the face, but aren't structurally an issue. And always try to throw a color in there if we can find an already split piece. Oh, I forgot, I had some right here. I used some core yesterday for a video. That is very short. And we're going to grab 2 of these cross bands we separated earlier. And your cross bands go 2 plies in. So from bottom to top, you've got a bottom face, core, a cross band, another core, cross band, last core, and a top face. And that's your standard skateboard. I'm going to rush through putting this blue one together here, and then we will get on to pressing. There we go. There's a core and a good face. Make sure you don't want to waste any faces putting them in the center of the board there. That's in the wrong spot. Who organized this? It was me. Sorry. What we got? That ply order is standard for almost everybody. It's the best order that pretty much everybody uses. I can't say for sure if that's how everybody does their 8 plies, nor can I say for sure that we do our 6 plies the same way as everybody else. But I know that our standard 7 is the standard for everybody. All right, so these layups are good to go. Now it's time to start gluing. I'm gonna put you guys on the charger again and hope it doesn't shut the live off again, because that was a bummer. Should be able to move this tripod around a little bit easier than I have in the past. My favorite part of the board making process is probably either graphic application or the edge router. The edge router is a really satisfying tool to use. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the 8 plies, so those will be on the bottom. so it's easier for me to keep track. Remember, yesterday I almost overflowed the glue. I'll learn how to talk one day, guys, I promise. Yesterday I almost overfilled the glue tray, so we're being real careful opening this up. So as I said earlier, oh, I don't do that much. Yeah, I don't look at the router too much. I'm sorry, I don't look at the chat too much while I'm on the router. All right, here we go. So why do we glue by hand? Nobody asked. I asked. So with a glue machine, like the majority of the factories use, it gets both sides of every ply. So it has to skip the face plies because we obviously don't want glue on the top or bottom of the board. And it also can't get the crossbands because those would roll up inside of the belt. So we choose to do this by hand to make sure that you get the highest quality board you can get. Now, alignment on these plies is going to be extremely important. Like I said, these are for an 11.75 inch board. That's the barge. We tend to get the barge ordered as an 8-ply for some reason. It's like somebody wants to make the heaviest possible board that they can. And we're all for it. We will always make that happen for you. I'm gonna move you guys just a little bit this way so I can move the plies. Down just a little. That way I can see what I'm doing down here. All right. No dry spots. Rather have a whole pile of glue than a dry spot. You guys are just seeing me take my time a little bit longer on some of these. Just want to make sure that these 8-plies come out perfect. I forgot to put gloves on today. I'm gonna have nasty hands. Also, if you're in the Midwest, Q Skate Park is having a contest on May 9th and May 10th. I completely spaced that and tried to plan an event at Major Taylor's on May 10th. And I'm not going to step on Q's toes because we love Q. Q has been a big part of my skateboarding. They sell life boards. Even before I got sober, they were really cool to me. So I would never do that to them intentionally. So we went ahead and moved our date at Major Taylor's to the 18th of May. So on May 18th, Major Meltdown is happening. If you've ever been to an event that I've been a part of, you know this is going to be a great time. Yard dads involved. There's a lot of cash prizes. I believe there's $1,500 worth, no, $1,250 worth of cash prizes. I've posted the flyer. Should I post the flyer to my YouTube? Yeah, I should do that. I posted the flyer to Instagram. Hopefully you guys see it there. It should be a good time. We're going to have hardcore bands playing. Best tricks on the bacon strip, the down rail, and the Euro stairs. It's going to be a damn good time. So come on out to Major Taylor Skate Park on May 18th. We're going to have fun. You should be a part of it. We've already gathered some product sponsors. We're going to have a death race for tattoos, 18 plus death race. We're going to have some product to give away for the 17 and under crowd as well. The best trick is not going to be split into divisions. Everybody's just going to go at it a little bit different than the event that I threw at Lawrence, where we had a lot of different divisions. This one's going to be a little less ambitious, but it's going to be just as fun. Alright, so just taping up the ends here so it doesn't move around in the press. Same kind of concept we used when we don't want those splits to overlap. I'm having a real hard time with this tape today. I say that as if I don't have a hard time with the tape every day. All right. 1 down, 3 go. Once again, if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble. And if you're fine with me rambling, I'm fine with it too. Let's see. Talk about what I'm working on skate-wise. Currently, I'm really liking how my front side flips are feeling. And I was still getting them real on transition. I'm still getting them real clean with little to no pop left in my board. And then I switched to a fresh board. They were popping up well above my feet, so I started thinking like, well, kickflip frontside air might be fun. I'm getting real close to that again. I have landed a couple of those over hips. A lot of flyouts with that, but I've never done one back into transition. So I'm really excited with how close I'm getting to it. Really itching to get back to the park with good weather and give it another good try. It was pretty windy yesterday, but put one on my feet and my back foot came off before I could make it to the ground because I'm a dummy. And now it's real windy and cold, and it's going to probably be raining by the time I get done working. So, me and the doggo are going to have a lazy evening, and we'll go from there. What do I do on vert? On like a vert ramp, I've got 3 tricks: dropping in, a front slash, and really stink bugged frontside airs. Everything else is well below coping. I dropped in at Louisville. A lot of people saw that drop in. It was awful. And then I came back to a 12-foot ramp over in Columbus with good advice and good people. Figured out how to pump up to get slashes and then frontside airs. Let's see, what trick am I the most proud of being able to do? I think probably 540 bonelesses with one hand, because I used to spin and grab the nose, and I hated it. And one day they just started clicking with one hand. I will say I learned that trick out of spite, and started doing them better than the person that I learned it out of spite for. So I think, yeah, that's a good answer. 540 boneless. Yeah, it was a spite trick. Sometimes spite tricks are fun, you know? I don't know, that and Miller flips. Because the reason I learned Miller flips was because my buddy Dakota was non-stop doing them in games of skate against me, and I was tired of getting letters. I think my most consistent trick that I really don't remember the last time I missed one is layback air varials. Those are just automatic now. Really love that. Whenever I learn a new trick, I just spam it until I pretty much have it on lock. And I'm pretty proud of my switch crooks right now too. Hello. Oh, hey, you're back. Yeah, Soul. What trick are you the most proud of? Like Andrew just asked. Hey, cool. Glad to see you back. Been really enjoying doing these lives. I have to get some more glue for the next board, but this is the last ply on this 8 ply. And you're gonna have to give me a second while I find another roll of tape. I see one. I don't think we're gonna have to look very hard. Hey, a good pop shove is better than pretty much. It's a good feeling, isn't it? A real good pop shove that smacks the bottom of your feet. How long have you been skating, Soul? I'm gonna take this one up. Do you mean vert or transition? Vert used to terrify me until Peter Fernie was standing on the coping screaming at me to slash the coping. But I also got my best advice to dropping in on vert. And there is absolutely no shame in padding up for it. I was absolutely terrified of vert, especially after that almost dying drop-in I had. If you go back in my shorts, it's on there. I share it like once or twice a year just to remind myself how close I got to dying. I'm gonna go hit this on the orbital. Yeah, vert's and tall transition. That's true. Now, baby transition's fun. But I do like some tall transition that doesn't go all the way to vert because it launches you upside down for hand plants and whatnot. I'm gonna hit this with the orbital and be right back. There we go. That's better. We're on to the 7 plies. And sometimes I set the tape down in the glue and then it's hard to unroll. Yeah, some good yeah, my favorite transition is a 6-foot radius cut at 5. I agree with you right there. It launches you perfect, especially with some fat coping. Yeah, we all agree. Now, once I get comfortable on vert, I'll probably be arguing with my past self over that one. But Gavin's ramp is awesome. It's just shy of 12 feet, has 14 inches of vert, I believe. Gavin, I hope you're in the comments so you can correct me. He's not. It's not too intimidating. I've taken a fall to the flat from an air, and I'm still alive. So just throw a bunch of pads on. Yes, I have skated pools. I skated my first backyard pool this last Labor Day weekend. There's some shorts of me skating Sam Snellenberger's backyard pool. It's I believe it's 5 foot to 10 foot. It's got the classic death box, pool light, all that fun stuff. A nice hip on it, good tile, obviously pool coping. It's the actual pool that he drains for an event that we have. Yeah, it was awesome. That was such a cool experience to have. Something that I wanted to do for a very long time. Oh man, I'm finding out the only bad thing about this really deep table is I can't get things in the back corner of the cabinet. I have been skating for 20 years, but Andrew has a very, very impressive answer to that one. Very impressive. Andrew was skating when it was so small. He was a part of a very small group of people that were skateboarding. I love it. It's genuinely an honor that somebody that's been around for the entire industry of skateboarding to choose us to make their boards. I will say that, Andrew. Thank you for choosing us to make your skateboards. Don't matter how you're doing it if you're not, as long as you're having fun. I see you having fun at Q. After this live, Andrew, if you go back in my shorts, you can see that 10-foot pool. It was awesome. You'll actually be happy to hear this. I got to skate my first backyard pool with Jim Gray and Eric Dressen. That was pretty awesome. And we're happy to have you back, Andrew. I think if you look in the background to that 10-foot pole clip, you can see Eric hanging out in the corner of the property, and I believe Jim Gray was standing over the hip. I was trying to gray slide over the wedding cake, and I could not do it. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's the other aspect it had. It had a beautiful wedding cake. Yeah, there we go. What's your proud trick, Andrew? I love that this is happening. So me repeating your guys' questions on here is for the lives getting posted later. I'm sure I didn't need to explain that, but I love it that everybody's in the comments. The people are in the comments having an actual conversation. We'll get them there. Next time I'm at Q with you, we should work on Herschel slides, Andrew. Because I need to learn Herschel slides. I have the backside version of it, but not the front side. Alright. Taping this one up and I'll be right back. All right, one more, and then we're putting them in the press, and we're going to load them up. A rock and roll. R&R means rock and roll. A rock and roll is decking your board and then turning out. You either rock to fakie or you rock and roll. All right, guys. So we've got about half this board left to glue here. Then we're gonna be raising up the press, and I'm gonna end the live. I've just got to clean up the shaping room, and then I'm gonna get me some. I think I'm gonna get me some Taco Bell on the way home. That sounds good. They're not paying me or anything. This is not an ad. No way. You got to skate with Andrek? That is awesome. I have done one super shitty Andrek in my life. Bone Drex, though, I love those. But being able to meet the guy that invented them would be pretty cool. I gotta learn them first. How long did it take you guys to learn kickflip? God. It's probably like 3 or 4 years. I think I started when I was 10 years old. Don't think I was doing very much until I was like 13, 14. I was just kind of rolling down hills at 10. I didn't really skate with anybody until I was about 13, 14. Just rolling down hills by myself on my toy machine complete. I don't even remember where it came from. Andrew, I'm gonna get you doing one. Whether you gotta jump and I'll make the flip happen, that's my goal. I'm gonna make you do a kickflip. I have an Earth, Wind, and Fire song stuck in my head, and I felt like sharing that with you guys. I don't know why. We're gonna make it happen, Andrew. I promise. I can't promise. I promise we'll try. There's my answer. I promise I'll try. You're gonna come here and then go back to visit, and you're gonna be like, guys, I learned kickflips. Watch this triple kickflip, flat ground, switch. Alrighty. That's all lined up there. I'll angle you guys this way. I'm going to tape this last one up, and then we are going to load up the press. I can hear the birds getting ready for the storm out there. I had to get a bird out of the building today. It wanted to be in here, but then it didn't want to be in here, and I had a hard time leaving. I mean, I'd have a hard time leaving this place too. I wasn't even going to press today. But here we are. I have a hard time leaving. Definitely. What Andrew's saying. Alright. I am going to pass on a Michi Brusco lesson real quick. And Soul, if you don't watch Michi Brusco, you should. It's Skate IQ. If I'm remembering correctly, he was the first one to land a 1080 in contest. Now he simplifies skateboarding into crazy simple concepts. But here's a little thing that has helped me with my switch flick, which I don't have much at all. I landed a few switch heel flips. But part of that, I'm going to get myself a piece of plastic here so I don't get glue all over my leg. You get something in front of you, preferably lower, and have your leg like this, and use your leg to jump yourself up, and then flick your foot forward. You're going to get that feeling of flicking. You can just keep practicing that. I would try it on like a ledge or something about knee high. Not this thing that's waist high that I just tried to show you on. That was kind of dumb. But, all right. After that dumb attempt at trying to help people. For real though, watch Mitch Brusco. I still learn tips from him. All right, now it's time to load up the press. As we said earlier, alignment is going to be extremely important on these. I hope it made you laugh. My shoes? These were free. Oh yes, yeah, that it is. Unless you're like me and you skate decal non-abrasive grip tape, then your shoes last forever. The thing that seems to take my shoes out now is where I plant my foot on the ground. Yeah, he's great. His understanding of skateboarding is so good that he can just simplify everything. There's been little things that I've watched on his that have made just things make sense to me that have always been hard. I love what he's doing with it. It's like, I don't know. There used to be a mentality of almost gatekeeping how tricks are done, what tricks are, that kind of thing. And he's just kind of decided that, like, all right, I've done everything I want to do. Now it's time to make sure that the next generation has the tools to do even more than I've done. And that kind of mentality is awesome, and I love it. And I love that type of mentality is growing. Mitchie Brusco is rad. The McRib is back. Alistair, you popped on right when I'm almost done. Alistair, in all honesty, everyone's been asked already. I need a real answer. Soul, this is Alistair. He gets on every one of my lives. Almost all of them. He missed one this morning. And I don't really know how we got on the topic of McRibs, but now that's all he talks about. I don't mind it, because it gets engagement up in the comments. Oh. And because he's hilarious. It makes me happy. Alistair makes me happy. Alright, now we're loading up the 8 plies, making sure those are all centered nicely in the press there. Ooh. Oh, you just asked the best questions. Are McRibs good? Even the black market ones are good. What we mean when we say black market McRib is the Speedway sandwich McRib. The thing I ate for lunch yesterday. Ooh, just gave myself a fucking rib cramp pushing that. I recently learned that rib cramps, like I get, are not normal. It's the result of not handling broken ribs properly. McRib. That's funny. I didn't even realize I said rib. See you, Andrew. I'm going to be hopping off of here shortly as well. So, all right. Get rating up on the press here. If you watch close, you'll be able to see the glue squeeze out the side of the press. Thanks for the good questions, Andrew. You are correct, Ben? I'm going to call you Ben. you're starting to see the squeeze out right here. This is where the McRib sauce comes from. So I work for Life Skateboards, handcrafting skateboard decks. You can get one of your own at lifeskateboard.com. I like to show people the process, how the boards are made, answer questions, and let Alistair talk about McRibs. Since this is your first time here, and I'll show you. This is our glue table. This is our veneer that becomes boards. These are all of our boards that are curing and waiting to be cut. These are templates. They get attached to the uncuts after the truck holes are drilled in. Then they're cut out into a shape right here. Yes, sir, this is Canadian maple. Great Lakes maple to be specific, but then the edge is brought to a 90 on this belt, rounded off on this edge router, cleaned up on the drum, cleaned up on the Mac wheel, and then a final cleanup with the orbital before we apply graphics with hand-carved lino blocks. But I think that's it for today, guys. Sorry, Ben, you kind of hopped onto this one late, but I am going to be ending the live today. Let's see, anything around here I can show you guys real quick. These are some of my old riders. That one placed. I can't remember what I placed when I met Steve Barra. But that's Steve Barra's signature there. That was fun. There's our McRib right there. There you go. There's your McRib. I after he signed it, I still skated it because I had a contest to win, so I needed to. Here's the board I broke my leg on. Here's the board I designed after the x-ray. And here's the graphic with my cute doggy on it. This is Lori. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. All that fun stuff I'm supposed to say at the end of a live. Alistair, take it easy. Thanks for tuning in, Vid. And thank you, Soul, for being a part of the conversation. Appreciate you guys. Get out and skate. Have a good one.